Normalizing Obesity in 2022, the new trend. Hello and welcome to One Mail. In this video, I'm going to talk about something that's been on many people's minds lately, obesity. It seems like someone is getting bigger and bigger everywhere we look, and many of us are starting to wonder if obesity is becoming standard. Is this a problem? Or could it be that we're just looking at things the wrong way? Make sure to stay tuned because I'm going to explore the new trend of normalizing obesity and see if it's as bad as we think. It's great to see you. Let's talk about the typical appearance of a woman in 2022. Obesity is one of the urgent problems of modern society. These days, this problem bothers the minds of almost all women around the world. There are many issues related to the problem of being overweight. The discussions are spreading far behind the health problems related to obesity. They reach cultural, social, and psychological dimensions. However, when it comes to obesity, most of us will readily agree that it is a female problem and a male one. In the light of the pursuit of modern women to correspond to contemporary ideals of beauty and, at the same time, to be independent of social standards, obesity has become a feminist issue, as it is widely considered to be a rebellion against the powerlessness of the woman, against the pressure to look and act in a certain way, and against being evaluated on her ability to create an image of herself. Orbit 204. A size 17 woman often weighs between 190 and 200 pounds, but the average woman wears a size 16 to 18 shoe size. Assume this sweet lady has a level of attractiveness of 5, ladies always date one level higher than they are. If this is the new normal, he'll need to be an 8, 9, or even 10 on the attractiveness scale to attract today's average-looking lady. If he wants to keep her, he'll need to be financially and physically fit because the ladies around her are getting fatter. She becomes increasingly appealing. If you have 10 pigs lined up in a row, you should kiss the ones with lipstick on their faces. If you line up 10 pigs, the ones who stick out and attract the most male attention are the ones with friendlier looks and better styles. Is it any wonder that many men suffer erectile dysfunction while women continue gaining weight? My most recent significant and long-term commitment ended because my spouse was experiencing weight-related health issues. To begin with, she was exaggerating them, and I was aware that they would worsen over time. Even if Canada created a universal health care system, we would still be liable for the enormous cost of health care. I didn't want to be in a relationship where I had to finance my partner's habit of using traditional drugs for her to survive. Because of this shift in the demographics of the ordinary woman, thin shaming is likely to acquire popularity. Obese ladies currently outnumber slim women. As a result, gaining weight has become the social norm. If you don't, other women will make fun of you. Most guys with a hotness rating of 7 would be dissatisfied with the woman portrayed in this BuzzFeed story. The nasty tone prevails despite knowing they prefer to be single or pay for intercourse. Some of the females on this channel would occasionally encourage the male viewers to stop looking for the perfect lady and instead look for women who radiate a pleasant aroma and have the appearance of a feminine human being. I believe that we have a big problem. Some people assume that men are more influenced by appearance when choosing relationships. Women enjoy the same level of exposure as men. On the other hand, their average size is increasing. Even though they are gaining weight, they have high hopes that he will be robust and fit. How does this compare to males who have always been active? Compared to the average woman in 2010, many males prefer being alone and are occasionally heated over having a girlfriend. The average weight of an American woman was 170 pounds, up from 140 in 2000, yet, I am concerned that such numbers are credible. The 16 to 8 girls weigh close to 200 pounds, and I'm guessing the average lady also does. It is determined by several factors, including height and weight, which most women exaggerate. Remember that the average female size and weight are 5 feet tall and 175 pounds. The ordinary woman is overweight, but her mind is filled with feminist ideals that require her to be equal to or superior to men in all facets of so-called patriarchal oppression. Because of these beliefs, she believes she must always be unique to men. The women's male ancestors were responsible for their suffering. These were the same men that farmed the land and fought in battles. Most men find her ugly due to her obesity, yet, she wants them to feel romantic toward her on the inside by making them glance at her feet. Even if she decides against it, most married or long-term relationships with children fear losing everything if their partner does not accept the job. Because she is such a tyrant, the males defy her. In a city like Toronto, I realized that the ordinary woman is just waiting for a male to say or do anything politically inappropriate so that she may bring him back into line with her standards. Men must exercise caution while speaking or writing because the overweight special snowflake Gestapo are everywhere. For example, he defecated on a woman's lawn in front of her while walking his dog, and she witnessed it. He went to clean up the excrement in a proper manner, but the dog had diarrhea, and he couldn't physically pick it up. As a result, he pretended to pick it up and went down the street. She was angry and went over to see if he had cleaned up after his dog, but he hadn't. When she noticed this, she approached him. She pursued him down the street. Even though she weighed 250 pounds, she followed him as if she were 100 pounds and riding a bike. Now let me tell you a different story. Nowadays, it is commonly known that the average modern woman owns at least one cat. Despite having a moderate allergy to cats and dogs, I enjoy spending time with them. An internet campaign is underway to popularize the cat man, which may help reduce the social stigma associated with being a cat lady. The actual explanation for this occurrence is that cat men are praised for their capacity to make guys less poisonous. Many ladies pray that their cat man will not fall in love with them if he does love their cats. Instead, to escape the stigma of quirky cat ladies, today's women attempt to normalize the notion that men are madly in love with them. On various social media platforms, one of their social workers is currently undertaking research on feline masculinities and the growth of the cat man. On the other hand, the ordinary woman expects to obtain a 9 or 10 out of 10 men and is satisfied to share her ideal man with many average and overweight women. Catman does not offer a solution to toxic masculinity. Nobody seems to want to talk about it, but we must figure out how to eliminate toxic femininity. Nobody wants to admit that women may be cruel and that men are not the only ones who engage in inappropriate behavior. However, being overweight in today's society is not as stigmatized as it formerly was. Furthermore, women seek to make being a guy socially unacceptable, whereas being a woman is socially acceptable regardless of how a woman chooses to conduct herself. I support the idea that obesity is a problem, and feminists should not proclaim it as a form of rebellion against social standards. Moreover, as one talks about the body, in addition to the physical dimensions, one must consider cultural, political, and symbolic construct. These 4 dimensions impact the psychological dimension of the body or body image. Buxton 285. People are different, and their bodies are also very other. Consequently, all people have different attitudes to how a woman should look. Tastes differ. It does not mean that all men like only slim women and that all girls should be thin or fat to show their individuality. Fat is not suitable for one's health. Thus, if feminists use obesity as a form of rebellion, it can be said that they also use health problems. Thus, obesity is an issue that should not be taken lightly. It cannot be used for ideological or personal purposes. Whereas obesity breaks social standards, it impacts significantly one's health. In this light, I strongly support the idea that one should keep within limits and develop wise attitudes towards health and appearance. I also made a video where I discussed a topic that isn't often discussed: the brutal truth about religious women. Many people think that being a religious woman is all rainbows and unicorns, but the reality is far from that. I tackled the expectations of these women, their motives behind this, and the reasons why they turn to religion. So make sure to check it out.